Hey everyone, it is September 30th. Yes, September 30th. We have October, November, and December left. We have 3 months left and we will have finished the Bible. Wow. Okay. I'll tell you, this lesson, something just jumped out at me and grabbed me. I was like Peter, awestruck. I didn't see a bunch of fish, but I had a miracle. A miracle is any time we see God moving, we see God work. And when I glanced down at this familiar story, remember how I said we've got to be so careful not to just breeze by these stories that we know, especially those that are repeated in the Gospels. You might hear several stories about the feeding of the 5,000, several miracles repeated, several parables repeated. They're repeated for a reason. God has something to teach us every time we open the Word. And the first thing I just need to say is, oh wow, what would you do? How would I respond if Jesus got in my boat to teach? Oh, I couldn't even imagine. Just like with Mary and Martha, if he came to my house for dinner, right? That just was like one of those, but then this. Oh, please listen. Because this is the basis of our entire lesson. In Luke 5, chapter 4, when he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, Jesus said to Simon, now go out where it is deeper and let your nets down to catch some fish. Okay, hang in there with me. All right. In my Bible, I already had the phrase "for he was awestruck" underlined. So here I am looking at my Bible, seeing "for he was awestruck," just that word, awestruck, awestruck, awestruck. And then my eyes moved right up a few verses to the word deeper. Are y'all ready for this? Hang on. I seriously hope you're sitting down. Because I had to send a screenshot of this to my soul sister, Christy Butler. I had to send it to her and just say, oh, just get this. Now, go out where it is deeper and let your nets down to catch some fish. For he was awestruck. Friends, sometimes we have to go out deeper to be awestruck by God. Whether the deeper is intentionally something that we intentionally did by our choices, our mistakes. We went out and we went out deep, far away from God. Or whether that's voluntary or whether it's involuntary, intentional or unintentional, wherever we find ourselves deep, so deep we don't even know what to do. We're in this terrible situation or so deep. God took us out here voluntarily or involuntarily. Sometimes we have to go out in the deep to be awestruck by God. Sometimes he takes us out there when we don't want to be out there. It doesn't make sense for us to be out there. It's uncomfortable for us to be out there. We don't know what we're doing out there. But if we'll look up and look at Jesus, will be awestruck. Recently, my dad had a fall. He's 90, and he had a fall. And it's been hard. It's been a hard season. And we had 3 emergency room visits during this 2-month season since his fall. And one of them was for an intestinal issue, and I'm just going to leave it at that we tried to deal with at home and could not. Every home remedy we tried did not work. And y'all, I was at home. I was over there, back and forth. I was exhausted. I was way out in the deep. And I was drowning. And my daddy needed to go to the emergency room. And I had done everything I could to keep from taking him there. And I said, Lord, please, I don't want to take him there. Please let this work. And it didn't work. Because all I could see was my dad writhing in pain, sitting in an emergency room waiting area in a wheelchair with his back brace on, in so much pain, and us waiting for hours. If you've ever been to the emergency room, you know what I'm talking about. And I said, Lord, I don't have a choice. This is what we're going to do. We're going to just go up there, and I'm going to trust you to part the waters. You parted the Red Sea, you parted the Jordan Sea a couple times. You can part the sea in the ER room, and I'm going to trust you. So it's like 7:30 at night. I'm exhausted. I am in the deep waters. I am drowning. And I pull up into that emergency room underneath the little awning thing. And y'all, there is not one person in the ER waiting room. I cried. I was awestruck by God. He wants to astound us. And you know what? He probably astounds me a lot more than I ever notice. Forgive me, God. Because I'm too busy telling him, I've worked all night. Look, God, I'm a fisherman. I know how to cast a net. There is nothing out there. Can you only imagine the conversation? Yes, I can imagine that conversation because I have it with God all the time. I bet he was just sitting there going, darling, I've got this under control. There isn't anybody at that room in that waiting. I've cleaned it all out. I've cleared all the people out. Take your daddy. Honor your father. Take your daddy. I got it. Look. I put these simple notes there. Just, they are what they are. I'm speaking from my heart today. Look around, my friend. He is an astounding God who in a skinny minute will do something to leave us awestruck. Oh, that we would be men and women living in expectation of being awestruck by our awesome God, instead of women and men who lean on our human thoughts and reasonings to why we're not going to obey God or we're not going to do something he wants us to do. Peter just had to simply obey. That's all. Just simply obey. He didn't have to work it all out. He just had to obey. And when we do, God will leave us awestruck every single time. But most of the time, we have to go out in the deep. We have to trust Him. We are either going out there by obedience, or we got drug out there by some other reason, but we're out there. And God can do a lot in the deep. See you next time on Read Through the Word.